Hello and welcome back to Heart and Soul's Yoga Live channel. My name is Henrike, and today I want to talk to you about how to make peace with your inner critic. We all know that voice, that inner critic that tells you that you're too fat, too stupid, too ugly, too inexperienced, too old, too young, or too whatever to succeed. If your friends, your parents, your children, anyone really, would speak to you in the same way that your inner critic does, you would probably have a fight with them and tell them to get out and not come back until they can be more respectful. But if you listen to yourself and your own inner self-talk, you'll become aware of how you're sometimes being quite nasty to yourself, like looking in the mirror, telling yourself, oh my God, I can't believe how fat you have become. There's no way you can wear this, or you'll be the laughing stock of town. Or don't even bother and try making a video of yourself. You're going to look like an idiot anyway, and what would you even say? So if you have that inner voice, we actually all do, but if you observe yourself giving yourself these really nasty, demeaning, negative comments, then let's have a look, delve into where the inner critic comes from and how to succeed in making friends with it, making peace with it, because you can't really push it down and fight it. That's never going to work. So where does the inner critic come from? The inner critic is actually a part of ourselves we develop when we are really little children. Why? Because as kids we all make mistakes. We are too loud, too nosy, too self-expressed, and our parents, carers, teachers or other people will occasionally get angry with us, lash out, criticize us, put us down, make us feel guilt or shame. And in order to prevent ever feeling like this again, because it goes on without a critical factor, it goes in without us having a boundary saying, no, hang on, that's not okay. As little kids, we take everything literal. In order to prevent ourselves from ever feeling this way again, we develop that same voice and internalize it so that we can give ourselves the same negative messaging before everybody or anybody else does it on the outside. So we're trying to keep ourselves safe, and the inner critic, that nasty little voice, actually has a really good intention to protect us from our own vulnerability and from feeling hurt, guilt, shame, sadness, etc., etc. However, it doesn't really happen in a very good way, does it? So let's have a look at how we can overcome that inner critic and work with it rather than against it. The first of all is always conscious awareness, because most of the time we're doing this to ourselves in a really subconscious way that we don't even notice. So when you catch yourself saying something nasty to yourself, take your time, write it down in a journal. What are the exact words that you are saying? And obviously see it for what it is, because often the messaging is really very negative and you wouldn't tolerate it from a friend. Next thing is, once you have seen this and you hopefully have some compassion for yourself and that own inner little child that sits on the receiving end of the criticism, I want you to notice not only what it is that you're saying to yourself, but also what the underneath positive intention is, because whoever criticized you in the first place, whoever spoke these words to you in the first place, might not have expressed it very well, but would have meant to keep you safe from something, to make sure that you are doing something correctly and right, prevent you from harm and from pain and from being exposed, etc., etc. So what is the underlying positive intention that those negative, harmful words have? If we look at, for example, negative messaging about your body image, right? That you are too fat in order to wear a certain thing. The positive intention is obviously to keep yourself from being ridiculed by others, from being laughed at, from being put down by other people, and not looking your best, really. So then the next step is to see how can you meet that same need? How can you meet that same positive intention in a better way? So rather than giving yourself that negative, angry, nasty messaging, what do you really need here? So if we go back to the overweight thing, one pathway would be to go, okay, I need to work on my self-image, I need to work on loving my body exactly the way it is, because I'm beautiful, and weight is only just one of many aspects to who I am as a person. That's one pathway. The other pathway, if you're not quite happy with that, is to go, okay, if whatever I'm wearing doesn't make me look my best, what else can I wear right now? And if I don't have the right clothes that fit my body shape, maybe I need to take my best friend shopping and get some positive advice on what I can wear that enhances my best features and kind of brings the other features a little bit to the background. So what is it that can be done in a positive way so that the need is being met? And then the next step is, how would you tell that to yourself? How would you speak to yourself if you were your own best friend? So how would you bring that across? You wouldn't put yourself down and go like, you look so ugly, you really need to buy some new clothes, you need to put on something like a sack so you don't look that way anymore. If you were your own best friend, you would probably lovingly say, hey, you are now in your 40s, 50s, you don't quite look the same way that you used to, but you have born a bunch of children, you are beautiful as you are, look at your smile, and now let's make sure that the way you dress matches up with who you are and make you as beautiful as you are. So gain awareness of the underlying need that is not being met, why the critic shows up in the first place. See how you can meet that same need in a better, healthier, friendlier, more resourceful way, and then look at the messaging again and give yourself that message in a better and more positive way. The truth is, the inner critic does not go away if you try to push it out of the way, or if you get even more upset with yourself. The inner critic has an important message to give to you, and what we resist persists always. If we try to push it away, it will come back with a vengeance. So really what you need to do is listen to that inner critic, because when it really is allowed to bring its message, when it's really allowed to bring to the forefront of your mind what you need to hear, and it trusts that you are going to take care of this vulnerability, then it's going to be able to fade into the background and let you take the reins. Its intention is to protect your vulnerability and to make sure that you are okay. And if you can bring the message that you know how to take care of yourself and that you're going to love yourself, care for yourself, and protect yourself, then the inner critic isn't needed anymore. So in that way, befriend your inner critic, listen to it, and take the actions necessary so that you can live your best life, go out there and do what you're meant to be doing. Thank you very much for listening. I trust this has provided some value for you. If you like our content, make sure you click the button that allows you to follow our channel and hit the bell button so that you get updates when we are releasing our next content. Thank you very much, and see you soon.
Good one.